Today, we're going to explore one of the most profound and transformative teachings of the Buddha. Your mind is your worst enemy. This teaching may seem harsh at first, but the Buddha's wisdom offers a deeper understanding of how our mind can be both a source of suffering and a tool for liberation. We'll explore why the Buddha said this, how our mind can become our greatest obstacle, and how we can turn it into our greatest ally. Let's dive in. Let's start by acknowledging the immense power of the mind. Our mind influences everything we experience. It shapes our thoughts, actions, and emotions. Think about it. Every experience you have, every interaction with others, and even every challenge you face is filtered through your mind. The way you perceive the world is shaped by your thoughts, which means that if your mind is clouded with negativity or confusion, so too will your experience of life be. The Buddha taught that the mind is a source of both our happiness and our suffering. However, when we allow our thoughts to dominate our actions, when we react automatically to every passing feeling or idea, the mind can become our enemy. Negative thoughts, fears, doubts, and attachments can create internal conflict and bring about emotional turmoil. The Buddha observed that many people are trapped by their thoughts, often unaware of how much their own minds are creating unnecessary suffering. The mind is naturally restless, constantly moving from one thought to another. It's like a wild monkey jumping from branch to branch without pause. This restless nature is what makes our mind difficult to control. The Buddha recognized this when he said that our mind is like a churning ocean. Just as an ocean is turbulent and unpredictable, so too is the mind when we don't learn to calm it. When we allow this restlessness to take over, we lose our connection to the present moment. We become so absorbed in past regrets or future worries that we miss the beauty and peace of the here and now. Our minds can keep us stuck in negative thought loops, reliving past mistakes or worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. This kind of mental chaos can cause us to feel disconnected, anxious, and discontented. One of the key teachings of the Buddha is the understanding of attachment. We are naturally drawn to things, people, and experiences that we think will bring us happiness. We develop desires, and the more we crave, the more we become attached. This attachment is the root of suffering. The Buddha often spoke about the nature of craving, or tanha. He said that our desire for things that we can't fully control, whether it's wealth, love, status, or even fleeting moments of pleasure, keeps us in a constant state of dissatisfaction. When we become attached to anything, we are setting ourselves up for suffering. Why? Because nothing in life is permanent. People change, material things decay, and circumstances evolve. When we base our happiness on things that are transient, we set ourselves up for inevitable pain and disappointment. The Buddha's teaching encourages us to let go of our attachments, not because we shouldn't care, but because true peace comes from within, not from external things. Another way the mind becomes our enemy is through the illusion of control. We try to control our thoughts, our feelings, our environment, and even the people around us. We believe that if we can control everything, we will find peace. But the truth is, the more we try to control, the more out of control we become. This is one of the greatest struggles of the human condition. The Buddha taught that this desire for control leads to frustration. The more we resist what is, the more suffering we create. True freedom comes when we stop trying to control everything and instead learn to accept and flow with the natural course of life. By letting go of the need to control, we create space for peace and clarity in our minds. So, how do we overcome the mind's tendency to lead us into suffering? The Buddha offered us the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present, of observing our thoughts without becoming attached to them. When we practice mindfulness, we become aware of our inner dialogue and learn to recognize when our thoughts are taking us off course. Rather than being swept away by every passing emotion or thought, we can observe them with compassion and understanding. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating mindfulness. By setting aside time each day to meditate, we can train our minds to become more focused and centered. Through meditation, we learn to quiet the constant chatter of the mind and create a space of peace and stillness within. Mindfulness isn't just about sitting in silence, though. It's about bringing that awareness into every moment of your life. Whether you're eating, walking, or simply sitting with your thoughts, mindfulness allows you to be present with what's happening rather than reacting to it. By practicing mindfulness, we can free ourselves from the control of the mind and experience life as it truly is. The Buddha didn't just leave us with the teaching of mindfulness, he also offered a path to liberation, the noble Eightfold Path. This path is a guide to transforming the mind and freeing ourselves from suffering. It consists of 8 steps: right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. By following this path, we gradually train our minds to act with wisdom, compassion, and clarity. The Buddha teaches us that liberation is not about escaping from the world, but about transforming our relationship with it. When we free ourselves from the mental habits that keep us trapped in suffering, we can experience true freedom and inner peace. In conclusion, the Buddha's teaching that your mind is your worst enemy invites us to recognize the role our minds play in creating our experience of the world. Our minds, when left unchecked, can lead us into cycles of suffering and confusion. But the good news is that we have the power to change. Through mindfulness, meditation, and the wisdom of the Eightfold Path, we can transform our minds and free ourselves from suffering. By practicing mindfulness and letting go of attachment, we can start to see the world and ourselves with greater clarity, compassion, and peace. The mind may be our worst enemy, but with practice, it can also become our greatest ally on the path to enlightenment. If you found this video helpful and would like to learn more about Buddhist wisdom and mindfulness practices, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when we release new videos that can help you transform your mind and live a more peaceful life. Thank you for watching, and may peace and wisdom guide you on your journey.